Hello friends, in this video tutorial we are going to discuss about constructor in Java programming. So what is exactly constructor? Constructor is a block which looks very similar to method. Constructor is used for class members initialization. Name of the constructor should be similar to class name. Constructor does not return anything. So the only purpose of using constructor is to initialize the class members, class variables. Fine. So how can we create a constructor in a simple Java program to initialize the class members? Let us have a pseudo code over here to understand it more better. Let's say I have test const class, and let's say this is a main class. So I will just write pseudo code. So I am writing like this: main method. That means we should write the code for main method over here. Now and this is end of the main method, this is end of the main class. Now if I want to create a constructor, let me use one more class, test const demo. Now in this test const demo, this is an independent class outside the main class. If I want to create a constructor, the name of the constructor should be equal to class name. So class name is test const demo. If I need to create a constructor, I should do like this. So this will be my constructor. Now let me create some class members. Let's say string ename, integer empid. Two class members are there. Let me say one more class member as a method. Let's say the method is public void display emp details. That is a method. Just make it proper. Fine. So now these are the class members: string employee name and integer employee ID. If this is a constructor, the job of the constructor is to initialize the class members. So how can I initialize the class members? I should go inside constructor. Let's say employee name equal to and employee ID equal to yes. So now let me just check the lowercase uppercase. Yes. So now my constructor has initialized the class members to Gayatri Mishra 11472 for e-name and employee ID. Now I want to use these initialized values. So how can I use these initialized values? I have a method called display employee details. So for display employee details, I can say employee details are okay. So now let us say what is the employee name variable enm plus empid. These are the employee details I need to fetch. So this is what a method you can able to clearly see, which is a no return type. So unless until I will call the method, I cannot able to get this employee details. Employee details will get fetched from constructor at the time of execution. So now let me call the method. How can I call the method? Method is a class member of test const demo class. So I need to create an object for test const demo. So how can I create the object? Test const demo o1 equal to new test const demo. This is what the object. Now if I want to call the method, let's say o1 dot. So what is exactly the method name I should call? Display employee details. So let me use over here display employee details. This is the way I can call the method. So once I will execute the code, what will be the output of the program? Gayatri Mishra 11472. This will be the output of the program. So these two values can be fetched from the constructor where we initialized the class members. I hope it is clear. Let us get inside Eclipse to execute the code and check whether the code is working fine or not. So I would like to use the same project, Code Java project 1. Let me create a new class. Let's say it is test const demo class. I'm just changing the class name, or if I want to use the same class, that also I can use. Let me just go to the main class and check the class name. So test const class is the main class. So let me just copy this and create the class name as test const class, and this is a main class. Now let me delete the unwanted data. Let me clear the output screen, and here what we need to do, we need to create another one class. The name of the class which has been mentioned in the document is test const demo. So let me use one more class, test const demo. So here we will define some class members. So what are all the class members? String, emp, nm, integer, emp, id. These two are the class members, and I will create one more member as a method. This is a method, simple method which is of no return type. So what is the job of the method? The job of the method is to print the value for employee name and employee ID. So sysout, I can write employee details. So what I need to do is emp name plus emp id. So this is what I need to do inside the method. So before printing the values inside the method, I need to initialize the values. So what we learnt over here, we need to create a constructor. So how can I create a constructor? Constructor is also a class member. So let us create a constructor. Fine. So for which class I need to create a constructor? For the class test const demo. Constructor is also a class member. So this is the way I need to create a constructor. It is a block which is very similar to method, but it doesn't return anything, and we are using constructor to initialize the class members. So what are all the members we need to initialize now? Emp nm, I just gave some value. Now emp id, I just gave some value. So this is what the constructor. Now what we need to do is when we will use this method, when we will call this method, it should print the employee details, and the employee details should be fetched from the initialized value from the constructor. So now to execute this method, what we should do, we should create a object for the class. So for which class we need to create an object? Test const demo. So test const demo I copied. I need to create an object. Now by using that object I can call the method. So what is my method? Display employee details. So if I will call display employee details, directly the cursor will go to display employee details definition, and which will print the employee name and employee ID, and it will get the employee name, employee ID from the constructor, which is a default constructor without parameter. So let us execute it and see what is the output. See this. It's completely working fine for us. Employee details I can able to see Gayatri Mishra 11472. These values we initialized over here inside the constructor. Employee name is Gayatri Mishra, employee ID is 11472, and this is what a constructor without parameter. I hope it is clear for everyone. Thank you for watching this video. Happy learning.